Well, today I want to reach back into my government experience from several years ago and talk to you about something that has stuck with me since, gosh, I don't know, probably the year 2000 or so. I had the distinct honor of being the second director of the Kentucky Office of Education Accountability. And one of the things that we did was to investigate allegations of wrongdoing in public schools around the state. And we had a crew that were up in Breathitt County, Kentucky, up in the mountains. And one of my investigators was standing outside talking with one of the teachers who was doing duty watching the kids come into school from the parking lot. And a young fella came bebopping up from the parking lot smoking a joint. And he sees them see him and knocks the fire out of his joint. And instead of throwing the joint away, he sticks it in his pocket. Of course, the teacher sees him. So he comes on up and she calls him over as he gets closer. And she says to him, Johnny, were you smoking a joint coming up through the thing? Oh, no, ma'am, absolutely not. No, I wouldn't do that. She said, well, I think I saw you put something in your pockets. I need you to turn your pockets inside out. So he did. And of course, the joint fell out on the ground. And he's like, but Ms. Jones, you need to understand, these are not my pants. And that has stuck with me. And I've heard it in so many different ways through the years that these are not my pants. You know, taking responsibility is a trait that seems to be fading in American life. Observe our politicians. We once did another investigation when I was the director of OEA, and we had a superintendent in for several issues. And the question was, well, now, Mr. Superintendent, isn't that your responsibility? Well, yes, it is. I said, but this didn't get done. He said, well, that's not my fault. So it's your responsibility, but it's not your fault. Is that what you're saying? How many times do we hear that from our politicians these days? Oh, well, we're responsible for this, that, or the other, but it's the other side. It's not our fault. These are not our pants. They belong to them. Wouldn't it be refreshing to have politicians who actually accepted responsibility for the things they did and did not do? Wouldn't that be refreshing? Maybe someday, hopefully, we'll get to that point in America. Wouldn't it be refreshing if our kids learned to accept responsibility for what they did and what they didn't do? Maybe we can get to that point again in America. But until and unless we stop this, these are not my pants responses, we're not going to get there. And we're going to get the same old, or worse than what we had. Well, what do you think about this not accepting responsibility, particularly among our adults and for sure among politicians? Should we demand more? Why don't you please share your thoughts with us in the comments?